Scammers, a special kind of scumbag. Am I right? Look, they're targeting cruisers again. And poor Carnival, they can't seem to catch a break. They've had to cancel a cruise, and they're also going to court. They're looking for money. Yeah, that plus a whole lot more on today's episode. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. Welcome to the Cruise Show. I am your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. It's everything going on in cruising. It's For Your Face on a Sunday the 29th of June, 2025. And well, look, I'm just a few days from going on a cruise, and this is how I feel right now.
This kid is going on a cruise. This kid is going to set sail. This kid is going on a cruise. Watch me shake this tail.
Yeah, that never gets old. That never gets old for me. But what does get old for me are scammers. I'm so sick of people trying to scam people out of their hard-earned money, and it's prevalent. It happens in the cruise space all of the time. Let me tell you about this one. Scammers so stupid that they can't pick the right port to try to scam people. There was a Facebook scam going around in the UK where there were advertisements on Facebook telling people to come take a cruise from Felixstowe. Now, for the unfamiliar, Felixstowe is a port city on the coast of Suffolk. The scumbag scammers trying to separate people from their hard-earned money with phrases like, take a relaxed coastal cruise. Enjoy the quiet charm of Felixstowe. Felixstowe combines history, heritage, coastline, and sea views for the perfect calm escape. The only problem with Felixstowe is it's not a cruise port. It's a commercial shipping port. It's container ships and all that stuff. Cranes. It's not a cruise port. Fortunately, they were reported and Facebook took the ad down, but who knows how many people got scammed before that happened. Cautionary tale. Be careful when you see things that are, I don't even know if you'd think this would be too good to be true. But if you were familiar with the area, you'd be like, I don't think they cruise out of Felixstowe. Yeah, people are scumbags. Like I said, as I put on the thumbnail, Scam Captain. I don't know how I missed this one back in 2022, but there was somebody that was going onto Facebook dressed as a cruise captain, and maybe I did cover it or just forgot about it. But a con man was jailed for 6 years after dressing up as a captain and telling people to come cruise with him. I do kind of remember this now as we're talking about it. I mean, cruising is challenging enough on its own, just trying to figure it out until you get your feet under you when it comes to cruising. And then you got these scumbag scammers doing their thing. Look, it reminds me of a song back, a protest song. We should put all these people on the Group W bench. Father stabbers and cruise scammers. I mean, shout out Ludacris. Look, it's everywhere. Check this out. AT&T just settled for $177 million to be paid to customers for 2 data breaches that happened in 2024. Look, our information is out there on the internet, and a lot of times it's out there because we put it out there. We agreed to use the service, and our data was collected, and now it's being stored and housed and managed by data brokers in data warehouses. What's cool, though, is you can ask them to take your personal data off the internet. But the challenge is, who are these data brokers, and how do you get to them? Well, I'm thankful for the sponsor of today's episode, Incogni, that solves that very simple problem. It's super easy. 3 steps. You sign up for Incogni. Number 2, you allow Incogni to work on your behalf. And number 3, you sit back while Incogni sends all these requests out to these data brokers and data warehouses to get your data off of the internet. To date, I've had over 200 data warehouses, data brokers contacted on my behalf from Incogni and my data removed. This helps when it comes to spam and weird text and people just stealing your data. You can try Incogni for yourself for a discounted price. Scan the QR code that's on the screen or go to www.incogni.com/La Lido Loca. Use my code La Lido Loca to save 60% off of your annual Incogni subscription. It's scary stuff. It's scary stuff. Protect your data. Thank you, Incogni, for sponsoring today's episode. All right, this is a section of the show where I'm going to put in a couple feel-good stories. Popular Royal Caribbean port finally reopens to cruise ships Do you remember the tragedy back in April of 2024 when an MSC cruise ship struck and damaged the dolphin moorings in San Juan? The challenge is that was the only pier that could accommodate big old cruise ships. And it done got busted, and it's been in disrepair since that time. Well, word has come out that the repairs are finally done. And you may be saying, well, I don't cruise MSC. Who cares? Well, Royal Caribbean big ships have not been able to go to San Juan because that's the dock that they use. And now that this is opening back up, it will open up the door for Oasis class ships and Icon class Royal Caribbean ships to return to San Juan. So, yeah, that's good news. That's certainly good news. And we got a birthday to celebrate. We got us a cruise ship birthday. Norwegian Epic completes 15 years of service. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. or Mrs. Norwegian Epic. 15 years ago, that was 2010. I don't even think I knew what a cruise ship was in 20. I mean, I probably knew what a cruise ship was, but I didn't have any plans to be on one. Yeah, congratulations, Norwegian Epic, for celebrating 15 years in service. I think Norwegian said they tried to get about 30 years out of their ships. So I guess Norwegian Epic is middle-aged. And then are they saying that 50-year-olds are middle-aged? I think I'm past the midway point. I think I was middle-aged in my 40s, maybe. That's a sad reality that's sinking in. We're about done over here, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, we still got a lot of life in us. So, whew, that took a turn. I do want to briefly look at the poll results from the Are You Doing Anything Negative Against Carnival since the whole announcement of the new loyalty program. Did I trigger someone? The new rewards program. Well, we've had over 7,000 people respond, and 54% of you guys said, hey, we don't even cruise Carnival. We could care less. 54% don't care at all. 12% said, yeah, I've taken some negative action. I've canceled a cruise. I've sold stock. I've gone and done loyalty matching at another company. And 34% said they haven't done anything at all. So again, the question I posed at the end of my analysis the other day is, will the outrage equal a fallout? Will there be any negative action against Carnival because of the new program? So far, it doesn't seem like it's going to be, and I guess maybe that opens the door for Carnival to say, well, you know, the numbers show that we're okay going forward with our new program. There's still a year, well, less than a year now, but almost a year until we find out exactly what's going to happen. So I don't know. Will people still be angry a year from now? I've already started to see people move on. That's the way life is. Things are upsetting for just a day or two, and then we're off to the next thing to be outraged about. Outraged. You know what I'm not outraged about, and I'm dang happy for? The Dukes of Hazzard. I remember when that TV show came on. I lived in the coal mining area of Southwest Virginia. My dad used to drive over to Hazard, Kentucky, and do business over there, and that's where the Dukes of Hazzard came from. And well, a town in Kentucky yesterday jumped a fountain with the General Lee, and it looked like a hard landing. I don't know what I enjoyed more, seeing the General Lee poke its way through this blue fountain, or how hard the car hit. Man, I'm assuming everybody is okay, but look at the dude running like a madman to catch up with the General Lee. Just a good old boys. Did you guys ever watch that show? What a wild show. I used to work as a costume performer for a country music radio station in Bristol, Virginia / Tennessee. And I did have 2 Dukes of Hazzard run-ins. This had to be early 80s. I was in junior high, first year of high school. The first one is I used to march in parades on State Street. And I remember one year distinctly, I was right in front of the General Lee. So I was walking in front of the General Lee. And then we also used to go and introduce the bands at concerts. And one night I was there for George No-Show Jones. He showed up. He didn't come off of his bus, though, until showtime, and a lot of the ladies went back to the bus. And the opening act for George Jones that night was none other than maybe Bo Duke. I can't remember who was Bo, who was Luke. But Tom Woolpat, the dark-haired one, was also a country music singer, and he opened up for George Jones. Yeah, so that was my brief run-in with the Dukes of Hazzard. But, man, I love anything jumping. When I was a kid, my dad took me to see Evel Knievel jump buses at Kings Island in Cincinnati, and I've always been a fan of the jumping of stuff. Hopefully that person's okay in the General Lee. Okay, let's talk about some more challenges, particularly for Carnival Cruise Line. Carnival has canceled the Carnival Liberty's upcoming sailing on July the 6th. They notified cruise passengers that the dry dock that the Carnival Liberty was participating in, the refurb, will not be completed, and therefore they will not have that sailing. They're giving everybody a 100% refund, 100% refund, also a 100% future cruise credit. Then they're also reimbursing guests for travel expenses, I think up to $200 per person. Of course, it begs the question, why? Why has this cruise been canceled? Well, this is an interesting story. So the ship was in Cadiz, Spain for dry dock, for refurbishment, and then a worker strike broke out, and the Liberty was somewhat held hostage. They were using it as a bargaining chip. And Carnival said, no way, we're not going to be a bargaining chip. They got the ship and skedaddled and went over to France. They went to France to get the refurbishments finished, but of course that threw off the whole timetable. I guess a follow-up question is, how do you hold the cruise ship hostage? I guess when they were trying to leave, local workers tried to detain the cruise ship, which probably some tense moments. They're going to finish up with the refurbishments. They're going to get people back on that cruise ship. I've been on the Carnival Liberty. That's a nice cruise ship. It'd be interesting to see what it's like after the dry dock. But think about that. Carnival Liberty holds almost 3,000 passengers. I don't know what the average price of a cruise on the Carnival Liberty is right now, but let's just say $500, which seems unrealistically low. Well, that's a refund to passengers of $1.5 million. That's a giveaway of future cruise credit of $1.5 million. And if everybody needs travel assistance, that's what 200 times 3,000. So that's what, $60,000? Is that right? $60,000 worth of, that's a lot of money. Carnival's losing several million because of this worker strike. And so what do when you lose a few $1 million and it's not your fault per se? Well, you sue somebody, and that's exactly what Carnival Cruise Line is doing. I've never seen litigation happen so fast in my life, but I'm assuming they anticipated that this challenge was coming, but they are suing that Spanish shipyard in Cadiz. It's called the Navatina shipyard. They are suing them for 4.5 million pounds in damages. They had 3 ships that were getting worked on over there: the Miracle, the Carnival Miracle, the Carnival Valor, and the Liberty. Fortunately, the Carnival Miller, it's Miller time. It feels like it could be. Fortunately, the Carnival Miracle and the Carnival Valor, they were completed. They were able to bug out of there without any issue, but the poor Liberty got held hostage. So yeah, Carnival is going to court to try to reclaim 4.5 million pounds. Probably to recoup the money that they've had to give away. Yeah, man, the cruise business is crazy. Is crazy sometimes. Be careful out there for the scammers. Thanks again to Incogni for sponsoring today's episode. I think we've done it all. If you like the show, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and now there's nothing left to do but dance. Get up. Get up.
To our old place in the faraway town where I met you, baby. All those years pass, now I know you. How the times can change and I get a little down. Thinking about tomorrow, I get down. Was it over from the get-go? Should we call it quits and let go? I have cried many times over you. Sleepless nights, what a crime, wasting my tears on a broken dream. Maybe I just can't forgive another mistake. Maybe I don't wanna feel this heartache. Every time you let me down, I get to thinking